Good morning and Jai Hind, my dear students. Today I, Dr. Manjari Jhunjhunwala, along with my colleague Dr. Vishal Singh, present before you with our course title Understanding Literary Genres and Devices. In today's lecture number 4 of week 7, we are here to learn about symbolism, irony and allegory, which provide layers to meaning in literature. Let's begin with an outline of lecture. First of all, we will learn the concept of deep meaning in literature. We will also learn what is symbolism and the language of suggestion. We will see some famous examples of symbolism in literature. Further, we will move to allegory, which is the narrative of hidden meaning. We will also learn types of allegory. And at the end, we will learn what is an irony, which is the language of contrast. And we will see its examples and effects in English literature. Let's begin with the concept of deep meaning in literature. Symbolism, allegory and irony. These devices have very significant role in the interpretation and inferring deeper meaning of the texts. How? By analyzing abstract ideas, readers get enabled to understand layers of meaning. To understand complex and metaphorical meaning of texts, that is, beyond the literal meaning, especially in poetry and drama, the use of symbolism, allegory and irony are very, very essential devices. Let's differentiate between surface meaning and deeper meaning or in-depth meaning. Surface meaning or literal meaning is what is said, what is written as a script. That is plain language. On the other hand, deeper meaning, also known as symbolic meaning, is different from literal meaning, where what is meant or what is implied becomes more important. And through reading between the lines, the symbols are decoded. And that is what makes any literature special and different from day-to-day language. Why should we have the knowledge of deeper meaning or symbolic meaning? Number 1, it deepens the emotional and intellectual richness of a work. Number 2, multiple interpretations can be provided. Further, it makes the text universal and conveys meaning without any limitation. Further, we have no limitation on the basis of race, gender, time, ideology, and cultural setup. For example, in The Scarlet Letter, the famous novel written by American novelist Hawthorne, A stands for adultery, but also stands for atonement, identity, and agency. Let's learn more about symbolism, which is the language of suggestion. Symbolism is a tool always used as an object to represent the deeper or associated meaning of the text. Object can be anything, an event, a person, a place, a color, etc. The object is used as a symbol which will narrate its deeper or symbolic meaning beyond the literal meaning. The symbols help to connect an individual reader to universal importance. For example, we have dove, D-O-V-E, a bird which stands for peace. Let's have a look at the types of symbols. First of all, we have conventional symbols. There are also universal symbols. For example, red color stands for danger, white color stands for peace. So these symbols, conventional symbols, are culturally shared amongst all. Further, we have contextual or personal symbols, which is specific to text. For example, in the famous novel by William Golding, Lord of the Flies, Piggy's spectacles stands for his intellect. Archetypal symbols, which are drawn from myths and collective unconsciousness. For example, the apple or the snake. The apple stands for knowledge and the snake stands for deception. What are the functions of symbolism? Symbolisms provide universality to the text and also adds deeper meaning to the text. Through symbolism, concrete images get converted into abstract ideas and also invites various interpretations. In symbolism, there is plenty of imagery and also there may be different themes. Symbolism is relatable to the mass reader as a rich and open-ended text. Some more examples of symbolism in English literature. Ernest Hemingway, in his famous novel The Old Man and the Sea, where his hero, Santiago, stands for Christ himself. He also stands for human dignity, willpower, resilience, and perseverance. In the famous poem, The Lamb, written by the Romantic poet William Blake, Lamb stands for innocence, Christ, purity, and gentleness. In another poem by the same poet, The Tiger stands for divine energy, creation, danger, power, and cruelty. In his famous poem, The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost, the road stands for choice of path in a forest, but also symbolizes life choices. We have so many choices in life. Now, what to choose, how to choose is a question. George Orwell's Animal Farm is another example where farm or animals are symbols of totalitarian government, fake idealism, and surveillance. After we understand what is symbolism, let's try and understand what is an allegory, which is the narrative of hidden meaning. Allegory is a device which always has a hidden meaning with certain moral message. It always has a different, extended and symbolic meaning except what it said directly. Allegory is also intended to represent abstract ideas through its characters, events, places and dialogues. Allegory can be in form of story, poem, prose, painting, and its message can be political, religious, cultural, moral, social, etc. Unlike symbols, allegory is systematic and organized and operates on two levels, literal and symbolic. The use of allegory is to teach, criticize, evaluate, and it also aims to expose social evils so that it could be corrected. People could reform themselves. For example, in the novel Animal Farm, literal story of animals protest against human power. Protest against human power is symbolic of totalitarianism. In another work by William Langland, The Pilgrim's Progress, the literal journey of the protagonist stands for spiritual journey of salvation or liberation. Let's see what are some types of allegory. First of all, we have moral or religious allegory, which is used to personify abstract ideas, concepts, or notions to spread religious messages or teachings of Christ. For example, in 16th century work, Every Man, which is an anonymous work, every man is an individual character, a Christian who represents journey of entire human beings. Next, we have political allegory. It uses fiction to comment on politics, to reform it, expect certain positive changes. For example, 1984. This is a novel by George Orwell where totalitarianism and concepts like Big Brother, doublethink are used to refer to political scenario. Further, we have philosophical allegory, which explores truths and ideas. For example, Plato's Allegory of the Cave, which explains reality and perceptions and talks about shadow and reality. We also have psychological allegory, which represents inner life or human psyche. Again, as an example, we will talk about Lord of the Flies, a novel by William Golding, where characters, places, title of the work, everything is allegorical. After a substantial discussion of allegory, let's talk about what is an irony. Irony is also known as the language of contrast. Irony is a literal technique, device which has different meanings on surface level, while intentionally has a contradictory meaning, like difference between appearance and reality. Sometimes it functions for sarcasm. We have following types of irony. Number 1, verbal irony, where words are opposites of what is actually meant, and that is what is sarcasm mean. Oh, I am not at all romantic. I am not old enough. I leave romance to my seniors. Oscar Wilde has written in his famous drama, An Ideal Husband. Next, we have situational irony, when the outcome is different or contradicts from what was expected. In Romeo and Juliet, Romeo kills himself believing Juliet is dead. And there is a tragic reversal, is example of situational irony. Dramatic irony, when the audience knows more about the plot than the characters on the stage. For example, Oedipus Rex, a work by Sophocles, where audience knows entire life story of Oedipus' fate before what he does. What are some functions of irony? It creates interest among the audience, also works as a source of humor, tragedy, and critique. Irony also exposes social evils, hypocrisy, or self-deception. Irony encourages reader insight. Irony encourages readers' insight for introspection, investigation, and reflection. Let's see some examples of irony in English literature and its effects. Example of verbal irony, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, where the opening sentence itself is an example of verbal irony. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man must be in want of a wife. The novel tells an opposite story, that is a search of a wealthy husband. Situational irony is found in Ozymandias, a poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley, a poem which explains about a destroyed or ruined statue of a proud king. This is how Through this situational irony, it has been conveyed that time cancels everything. Dramatic irony can be found in Romeo and Juliet, a very famous play by great playwright William Shakespeare, where audience knows everything about Juliet, but Romeo does not, and he takes away his own life. To sum up today's lecture, we can say that symbolism conveys meaning through symbols, where generally abstract ideas are presented through different symbols like characters, events, and places. Next, allegory is similar to symbols in case of representing abstract ideas through personification, but it is very systematic and organized and operates on two levels, that is deeper and surface levels. Irony, it conveys layers of meaning. Intention is completely different from what is said. Irony is used to spread more philosophical, religious, and political message. Thus, these devices together enrich literature and provide a deeper understanding of any text. All depend on implied meaning, that is, beyond the literal one, and thus readers are open to multiple interpretations. Thus, there is a very clear message that language does not stand for what is said at a time. Language also stands for multiple layers, multiple interpretations, and then there are utter possibilities to understand the meaning in several layers. Thank you.